there is a pathway for PR with MBA, no IELTS, no show money. Is that too good to be true? I am a high school student. Is it necessary to be a college graduate to apply for a student visa? Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So for today, we're finally going to do the Q&A with a registered migration agent. So a few weeks ago, I did post an announcement in regards to my collaboration with EEVS, or Expert Education and Visa Services. So for the past few weeks, I have been collecting all your questions, and for that, I actually want to thank everyone. Thank you for entrusting your queries to me and to the migration agent, and we really hope that we can help you today. Just a heads up that since we did receive a fair amount of questions, there would be a part 2. Stay tuned and let's start. Before anything else, legitimacy check first. Hi Steve, how are you?
Hello, Zee, how are you?
Not too bad. So thank you for joining us today. For the sake of our viewers, would you mind telling us how long have you been a migration agent?
Hello, this is Steve. I've been working in this migration industry as a registered migration agent since 2009. So it's roughly about 12 years.
Wow. And have you been working at the EVS since then?
No, actually, I've learned my own practice from 2009 to 2017. Then I joined the other company for about 2 years. Then I started to work at EEVS since 2020 July.
July, okay, since last year. And
Yeah, it's not that long, yes.
can you tell us what are the countries that you cater the most?
Originally, I'm from South Korea. So when I run my own practice, the majority of my client was the South Korean and Japanese and Chinese. Then after I joined the practice in the Brisbane CBD, had a chance to dealing with a lot of different countries, including UK, of course, many partner visa applicants from Philippines and Vietnam's, and also from USA and Canada as well. So actually, yeah, we have a lot of different nations clients from all over the country.
For the privacy of my viewers, I won't be mentioning any names. It will be all anonymous. And I also want to tell Steve that some of the questions may not be specific enough. I did mention this on my announcement post previously, but I do respect some of my viewers may not be comfortable to let us know more information. But rest assured that we'll be giving some takeaway or tips later on, and we'll try our best to answer their questions as well.
I'll do my best as well.
Great. So for our first question, we'll do general questions first. In which cases do the Australian migration doesn't require show money or financial evidence? And do they have a substitute requirement for it?
Actually, when the visa applicant apply the visa, for example, like a student visa, it depends on the origin country and also depends on the school they're going to, go to. For example, if they go to the level 1 school and if they go to level 3 school, the document requirement will be different.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we cannot say because of you're from Philippines, you might need to provide the financial documents or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it totally depends on your school.
And how would they know if it's a level 1 school or level 3 school?
You can simply ask the question to the education counselor.
Mm-hmm.
They will give you an answer which school is a level 1, which school is a level 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that mean, Steve? Sorry, I'm not too familiar.
Yes. I think this is my a personal opinions, but based on the statistics, for example, like a previous students, like a student visa refusal rates, or the the completion rate of the study of their schools, the immigration department will consider all of those factors. Then they just assess the educational institution
Okay. And are you saying that if it's level 3 school, most of the applicants won't need to provide a show money?
That's right. Level one, in rather than the student apply the level one,
Mhm.
more likely if the student apply level three school,
Mhm.
they will be required more document, not only the financial document but also all other document as well.
Oh, okay, I see. So it's the other way around. Level 1 don't need to provide any documents
Yeah,
for
that's right. But not all the time.
not all the time. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, but they need to provide the financial like a supporting document as well. Even though they apply the level one school.
Yep.
Yeah, but still, less chance to be required.
This is my second question. What are the
Yes.
usual reasons why students get their visa rejected?
Most of the visa refusal for the student visa is the genuine temporary entrance requirements. Because in Australia we have a few not few many different type of visas, but each visa has their own purpose to be approved. For example, if the applicant apply the student visa,
Mhm.
they must be a genuine student in Australia,
Yeah.
not to extend their staying in Australia or not to come to Australia to work.
Yeah.
So they look at your genuine temporary entrance statement, which is come along with your application.
Mhm.
Then if they have a kind of big question mark on your statement, then if they can see you're not a genuine like a student,
Yeah.
which means your purpose is not the main purpose of the student visa, then they can refuse your the student visa application.
I see. So they have to show that they are going to come back to their origin country.
Not only come back, for example, from their the previous work experience or their family background, and then maybe the chance to go back to get a job after they study in Australia.
Mm.
They will see everything, not only one thing.
Yeah.
Then they will make a decision, whether the applicant is a genuine or not.
Any tips for them for their GTE to be that strong?
I think you have to explain enough why you choose that courses and why you choose, to study in Australia.
Mm.
Then what is the benefit after you complete their courses
Mhm.
to your like a future life
Hmm.
and your job opportunity in your country?
So this is actually the question that most of my viewers have been asking me. Would you know when the borders will open?
I wish I know that, but unfortunately, I don't know.
Mm, yeah.
Maybe I'm the one of the your viewers who really wanted the border open soon.
Yeah. But at the moment, we can still apply for student visas, right?
Yes, you can apply your student visa in onshore and offshore as well. But at this stage, even the student visa granted,
Yeah.
we don't know when they actually can come into Australia with their student visa. But still, they can apply, and the application will still be granted.
Would they still be eligible for a 485 to come here after they study? Even if
Yeah, even they started taking their courses through online.
Mm.
They still count. It's to meet the Australian study requirement to meet that to apply 485 after they complete their courses.
I see. It's good for them to know at least they have assurance. They can apply for 485 after.
Yeah.
So we are going to go ahead with migration specific questions. Most of them are from the Philippines. First is I am a registered pharmacist and I was advised to take MBA major in health services. Will I have a pathway to become a permanent resident?
To apply the permanent resident, there are a few different ways. The one big category, most of the students are considering is the skill migration.
Mhm.
In Australia, generally we call the visa name by the number, like a 189, 190, 491.
Yeah.
But the registered pharmacist is on the short-term list, which means they are not eligible to lodge their 189, but they can still apply their 190 and 491 as well. So it depends on the situation. If you say the applicant is a registered pharmacist in Australia or in Philippines.
In the Philippines.
Yeah, in Philippines, maybe to be registered as a pharmacist in Australia, the regulation is different.
Mm-hmm.
So they must check that, the requirement to be registered as a registered pharmacist in Australia first.
Okay. But will taking MBA major in health services help her application in the
I
long
think most of the reason they apply the MBA courses is maybe after they study the MBA, they can still be eligible to apply their 485 for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even the student who complete their like a pharmacist courses in Australia,
Yeah.
they still need a 1 year full-time work experience to be registered in Australia as well.
Mm.
So most of the students who apply the MBA, maybe the reason was to apply 485 to gain their work experience to be registered.
Yeah, because it's 2 years, so they just need 1 year anyway.
That's
1 year
right.
full-time experience.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Now next is about MBA again. I was told taking MBA is a waste of money. Will there be any pathway for us business graduates to become permanent resident in Australia?
Yeah, very similar to like the answer I just gave you for the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Because yes, to apply the permanent resident under the skill migration, we have to have that the positive skills assessment. To get a positive skills assessment, you have to choose the occupation
Mm-hmm.
from the list. So if you just simply say, I'm graded from the business school,
Yeah.
does not means, it cannot like define any like a specific occupation you can apply to.
Yeah.
We have to also consider, the work experience after the study,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the occupation they need the work experience on that occupation nominated. So for example, if someone graduate from like a general like Bachelor of Business courses, then they have experience in the management consultant,
Mm-hmm.
then we can say the applicant be eligible to apply as a management consultant. But if someone does not have any work experience but just Bachelor of Business,
Yeah.
it's hard to say he is suitable to any one of the occupation on the list.
So you recommend them to look at the occupation list first and
That's
see
right.
which one they want to target and then go from there.
And also we have a few different like a occupation list. Mainly the medium long-term occupation list is the best occupation list actually,
Mm-hmm.
because they can apply like a more different type of visas than like a short-term or regional occupation list.
What's the difference, Steve? If it's a medium long term, that's more permanent than short term.
No, for example, if the occupation in the medium long-term occupation list, they're eligible to apply 189, 190, 491.
Mm-hmm.
Simply most of the like visa subclasses they're eligible to apply to. But if the occupation is on the short-term list,
Mm-hmm.
they are not be eligible to apply 189,
Mm-hmm.
but they can still apply 190 with the state nominations sponsorship. And even someone looking for the permanent visa pathway
Mm-hmm.
under employer nomination scheme,
Mm-hmm.
if the occupation is on the medium long term, they have a chance, after they got 482 and 3 years working under the same employer, they can still be eligible to apply 186 TRT stream.
Mm-hmm.
But if the occupation on the short-term list,
Yeah.
when they apply 482, they can apply the visa up to 2 years, but they can still extend one time in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Then no chance to apply 186 TRT stream, which is permanent resident.
Oh,
So it's a little bit different.
yeah. It's also confusing. There's so many things you have to consider. Like you
That's
mentioned
right.
about 3 years work experience, and then with the short term going regional and state sponsorship. So you have to apply
Yeah.
for that too.
Australian visa system is not that simple. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
So if you just think one way, maybe you miss the other way to get a PR chance.
Well, it's actually good that we have you. Actually, I have a follow-up question for that MBA. Someone offered to my viewer that there is a pathway for PR with MBA, no IELTS, no show money. Is that too good to be true?
Most of the MBA offered by the level 1 school.
Yeah.
That's why the visa applicant for the MBA school, they may not need to prove their financial capacity, but they still need to provide the evidence of their English skill, to get into the MBA courses. That's one of the entry requirements.
I'm thinking because I applied for Western Sydney University before. They actually offered me an English test, and they said that once I pass that, I don't need to do IELTS. Maybe that's just situation in there.
Yeah, because some schools, they require like an official English score, IELTS or PT. From some institution, they can they offer internal English test as well. Maybe you took the internal English test instead of the official one. That's why.
Yeah, but that's okay as well, right?
Yeah, that's okay as well. As long as you can get an offer from the school, yes.
Cool. So the next is for the nurses. They are a registered nurse in the Philippines, and they cannot afford to pay university fees. What are their options?
To be registered as a registered nurse in Australia, there are a few different ways if they have a qualification overseas. But as my understanding, the registered nurse in Philippines, they cannot simply transfer their registration to Australian registration.
Yeah.
So it is really bit hard to become a registered nurse in Australia straight away. But if they can choose like a different occupation, but maybe similar industry, for example, the aged carer, maybe that is the one option they can choose.
And is that cheaper than the university fees?
Yeah, of course, it is cheaper than university, but it has a less chance to get a PR, to be honest. If the student who already been working as a nurse is in back in Philippines for a long time, then when they apply the student visa in Australia, they just apply the aged care workers certificate for or diploma courses. The student need to provide enough reasons why they kind of downgrade their careers from nurses to aged care workers on their GTE statements.
So you're suggesting that they shouldn't.
I can't say they shouldn't, but if they want to apply that kind of low degree, then they already have it.
Yeah.
They must have a good reasons on the GTE statements enough to convince that the case officers.
Yeah. Is there a high chance that they might be rejected if they do that?
It depends on the case, by case, of course.
Yeah.
But we can say downgrading the courses means not very reasonable, or it looks like they just want to stay in Australia.
Yeah, also for nurses though, there are too many PR applications these days for nurses. Will I still be able to apply for PR, or is it not advisable anymore?
I can say it's still good occupation to apply PR. Because from my 12 years experience, I always see the nurses is kind of like a priority occupation to apply PR instead of all other occupation is in and out. And in this COVID situation, immigration department, they announced that 18 priority processing occupation list. Most of the occupation are nurses, and also in Australia, they announced it every a national budget every every year. Nurse was that one of the a majority of their quotation for skill migration numbers. So yeah, I can say nurse is the good occupation if you're considering to get a PR.
Cool. Would you know how many points they have to have fly for PR?
Yes, because it totally depends on the that timing.
Yeah.
But from the a previous round, 85 and 90 would be enough to get an invitation.
Oh, okay, 85 to 90. That's really high.
It is high,
Yeah.
but a little bit lower than other occupation, to be honest.
Accounting, I think, is the highest, isn't it? Is it? Am I right?
Yeah, it used to be 105 or 100 more, yeah, way more than 100, yes.
What? Did someone ever reach 100 points?
Depends on their work experience in overseas, it depends on their ages, depends on their English skills, yeah, all different.
Oh, I thought it's impossible, but okay. Well, anyway, I actually have a follow-up question for accounting. So they said there are too many people that are applying for PR for under accountancy occupation these days, and this viewer heard it's 0% chance now. Is that true?
No, it's not true because we still have a state nomination for 491 as an accountant as well.
Mm-hmm.
So of course 491 is not a permanent resident, it's a provisional visa, but still have to have a chance after 3 years live in the regional area and work in the regional area. So I don't want to say there's a 0% as an accountant because we still have an invitation.
There's still options for them.
That's right.
EEVS would like to offer us discounts towards EEVS professional fee. Just use this voucher and make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, you follow EEVS on Facebook, and share any of their recent posts. So if you're someone who is going to apply to any of the visas listed, you may want to avail this voucher.
Next question would be, I will be taking a commercial cookery course. Will I be given a chance to be granted a permanent residency?
Okay, if you finish your certificate 4 in commercial cookery and, for example, like a diploma of hospitality management,
Mhm.
you will be eligible to apply the skills assessment as a chef. Chef is on the medium long-term list occupation. As the occupation on the medium long-term list, the student be eligible to apply 189, 190, 491, and also 482 TSS and 186 as well.
Mhm.
But most of the students who complete their study in commercial cookery, more likely they go under the employer nomination scheme,
Mhm.
which is 482 TSS visa or 186 visa. Depends on their work experience.
How about if they are an IT graduate and they were offered to do a commercial cooking or hospitality management? Is there a pathway?
If the student only complete their IT degree, then on their 485, the graduation visa, they start to work as a chef.
Mm.
It's hard to say they are actually working as a chef
Mhm.
unless they complete their certificate 4 in commercial cookery and diploma of hospitality management,
Mhm.
because no experience and no qualification, then certainly the jump into the hospitality industry,
Mhm.
then they just say I'm a chef is kind of unreasonable.
Yeah, I see. Okay. So they have to take a course first. Okay.
Yes.
But so you're saying it is possible for them, even if they are an IT graduate.
But after the student graduate IT,
Mm.
then apply kind of like a downgrade to the certificate courses,
Yeah.
then it's again the GTE issue might be the problem.
Yeah, it's a bit risky.
Yes.
How about if they finished IT from the Philippines and then they decided to take Cert 3 in Australia?
The 4 and diploma, right?
Yeah.
As long as they have a good reason to change their career from IT to like a cookery.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next is, I have studied tourism management and graduated 4 years ago. I have been working in the hospitality industry as a front desk attendant or reception. What course can I take for hospitality related? And I was told to do nursing, but I really do not want that. As much as possible, I want to take anything hospitality related. Can you give me an idea?
As you already complete your study, for example, like a bachelor in hotel management in Philippines, and you already have a work experience as a hotel receptionist, I can say you don't need to take any courses
Mm.
to pass the skills assessment. It depends on what occupation you choose from, because we have a few different kind of occupation related to the hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like a hotel motel manager
Mm-hmm.
and a hotel receptionist.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, hotel receptionist is in the regional list, which means you only have a very limited visa subclasses you can apply to. But if you work as a hotel or motel manager, which is on the short-term list, they compared to the receptionist, it has more chance to apply the pathway to PR.
So they don't need to study anymore.
If they're eligible, if they can pass the skills assessment in Philippines,
Yeah.
then if they can get a job offer from Australia, yes, they don't need to study more.
Okay. The next is, I am a high school student. Is it necessary to be a college graduate in the Philippines to apply for a student visa?
Because we have cases who just complete their high schools
Mm-hmm.
and we applied a student visa, then she got a student visa granted recently,
Oh, that's cool.
which was the offshore application.
Offshore. Yeah.
Yeah, but still we got it granted.
Mm-hmm. And that's for bachelor's, right? Bachelor degree,
No, it was a diploma degree.
diploma degree. Okay.
That's right.
That's all for today, Steve. Thank you so much. We will be having a part 2 with the rest of the questions. We still have a few more to go. Yeah, is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm very thank you, Z, for having us today.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure I'll give you enough answer for your question. But if you have a more question, please ask me.
Yes, we'll definitely ask you more questions in the next video. But thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your time today, for your effort on answering all the questions.
Thank you very much, Z.